What's up? Jimmy Smith here, breaking down UFC 234. It is Robert Whitaker versus Kelvin Gastelum for the 185-pound title. And the co-main, Israel Adesanya versus Anderson Silva. I'll start with the co-main. This is Anderson Silva facing a younger, hungrier, bigger version of himself, essentially. Stylistically very similar. It's like looking in a mirror 10 years ago. That's what he's seeing right now. You know who's supposed to win this fight. It's already been declared that the winner of this fight is the next 185 pounds. Also, Dana White says if Anderson Silva gets knocked out, that might be his last fight in the octagon. You know who's being billed as the future. You know who's being billed as the past. Israel Adesanya is being billed as the future. What are Anderson Silva's options here? He has a very, very narrow path to victory. What does he do best? The stand-up game, just like Israel Adesanya. It's not like you can really change it up on him. But he's the more experienced fighter. One thing we haven't seen out of Israel Adesanya is how he deals with adversity, how he deals with something not going his way. If I'm Anderson Silva's coach, I tell him, boring for the first 5 minutes. Hands up, chin down. Don't give this kid anything. I want the crowd booing at the end of the first round. Why? Israel Adesanya might do something dumb. He might get frustrated. He might get a little upset. Remember, he wants a barn burner. He said that publicly. I want an exciting fight with Anderson Silva. We're both so creative. Give him a boring fight in the beginning. See if he does something dumb. Throw something spinning to try and open you up. See if he gets wild and does some mugging. And you can do what Chris Weidman did to Anderson Silva. Catch him in that moment of frustration or playing around or dropping his hands and catch him. Both guys have a very vulnerable style. They like being flashy. They like being creative. Well, that creates offensive opportunities for your opponent. Anderson Silva has to find those offensive opportunities and use them well. Because experience right now is his only advantage. And also, you might catch Israel Adesanya frustrated because it's at home. He wants not just a fight, he wants a showcase. He wants an exhibition. He wants to show everybody what he can do. If you frustrate him a little bit, make the fight slower than he would like to fight, maybe he'll screw up and do something dumb because he's trying to get something going, like a younger fighter would. So that's the advantage, or I think the strategy Anderson Silva should have. If he tries to keep up with the speed of Israel Adesanya and fight like he's a younger version of himself, it won't work. Has to do something that relies on his experience. Robert Whitaker versus Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin Gastelum is not one of those guys you stand next to, which I have, and think, God, how did you make 170 pounds? He's not that big. He's a 170-pounder, basically, frame-wise. He's certainly powerful. He can knock out 185ers. He's shown that over and over again. But he's not a middleweight-sized guy. He has to get in to the pocket and land power punches. That's what he's great at. That's where his strategy is. The difficulty he's going to have is Robert Whitaker is a middleweight size, although he did make 170 previously. He's certainly middleweight size. He didn't look small next to Yoel Romero, who's a big middleweight. He didn't look small next to Jacare, who's a big middleweight. He's versatile. That's his real strength. He's big, he's strong, he's rangy, and he can do a lot of stuff. He was able to keep Yoel Romero, who's a very explosive, dynamic wrestler and striker, at a distance. He was always guessing. He was always using his footwork, using his teeps, his foot combinations to keep Yoel Romero, a big, strong, explosive guy, off balance. Yoel Romero never knew what was coming. And Yoel Romero, I think, has more offensive options than Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin Gastelum is an inside puncher. That's what he's great at. Get in the pocket and throw big shots. If Robert Whitaker can keep him at a distance and not give him the range to do that, it's 100% his fight. Kelvin Gastelum's last fight against Jacare, one of the weirdest fights I've ever called in terms of Jacare won the first round and then completely ran out of gas. Completely ran out of gas. And that led Gastelum back into the fight. Very close fight, but it was Jacare running out of gas that let Gastelum back in it. Robert Whitaker has had no trouble with his gas in previous fights. He's used to fighting title fights. So I don't think that's going to be as much of an issue. It's going to be about the range and versatility of Robert Whitaker. So I would go with the favorites in both of those fights. Israel Adesanya has really impressed me every time he has fought. I like his attitude. I like his skill set. I like the respect he's showing Anderson Silva. I don't think he looks past him. I don't think he sees it as a walkover kind of fight. We're not going to catch him on a down, I don't think. And Robert Whitaker, it's just the guy can do a lot against someone who is certainly deserves a shot and who is an excellent middleweight, but has one clear path to victory, which is get inside close and land the knockout punch. And so far, no one's been able to do that at 185 against Robert Whitaker. So I'd go with the favorites in this, but I think it's going to be a great card. Check it out.